Hello folks, welcome to Legacy Eyes Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma Keki. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? India is likely to avoid trade ban with Turkey. Why exactly have we come into a scenario that we are considering options of a trade ban? What did Turkey do? And what is our trade relationship with Turkey? All this we will be discussing in the course of the video. This video from your UPSC perspective is important for your GS paper 2 from your international relations and also GS paper 3 with respect to your economy and trade. Alright? Look at this. India is restricting Turkish involvement in key infrastructure projects over security concerns, but is avoiding a full trade ban. Despite industry calls, the government is unlikely to impose a trade ban due to 2.7 billion trade surplus. Why are we trying to shun them away with key infrastructure or with respect to developmental projects, and with respect to trade we are still continuing it? Doing this, what is India trying to achieve? Look at this. Indian trade body CAIT to boycott Turkey, Azerbaijan. Jai Hind over jet deals. Why Indian firms ended ties with Turkish Airlines. What is going on here? For that, as usual, I will tell it to you like a story. You listen to it like a story. So you all know that India and Pakistan has strained relationship. We know that. That's not a news, or that's not something it's happening in the recent times. It's happening since pretty much the creation of India and Pakistan. So amidst this, that is 75 odd years of story. Why is Turkey coming in here? See, very recently we all know about the Pahalgam terror attack that was carried out on Indian soil by your Pakistan-based militants. India has time and again been speaking in all international podiums, mediums, and trying to raise awareness everywhere about countering terrorism. We had talked enough. Now it was time for us to take the walk. So when Pakistan based militants, Pakistan was given severe warnings by India to curb its terrorism, and always India has been of the voice. See, we can tell that India is the voice of global south. No one can avoid the fact that India is the fifth largest economy. Now for the G7 meeting, they are calling India. So amidst this, India has been constantly telling Pakistan to mend its ways to terrorism because it itself might succumb to terrorism, which it is already. Despite that, the Pahalgam terror attack was carried out on Indian soil. India gave a befitting reply in the name of Operation Sindoor, where it tried to strike terror camps in Pakistan occupied Kashmir and inside Pakistan as well. When this happened, your Turkey came out in strong support of Pakistan, and also it did not just stop there, it also crossed the line by bringing up the Jammu and Kashmir issue on international medium. Understanding why Turkey is doing this? Because of its shared link history, and again Pakistan known to be playing the religion card. In this aftermath, it was very hurtful that a country like Turkey is supporting a country that is backing terrorism. Turkey is a key player in your West Asia. It knows the unrest that goes on in that area, and still it tries to stand with a country that is openly outright promoting terrorism. So, in this, there was strict anger against the sentiments of how it affected India in such a crucial place. So, the sentiments, public sentiments, have also been against Turkey, for which many a people with respect to trade, commerce, industry have all come up and asked the government to ban the products from Turkey. What do you mean? For example, the apple growers from your Himachal, they came in and they spoke to the commerce ministry stating that because of heavily subsidized and cheap Turkish apples coming in, our Himachal Pradesh ka apple growers are facing huge competition, are facing huge loss. Because now you should not see apple as just a crop but as the economic backbone of your hill states. So they've asked, why don't we put a ban on imports of your Turkish apples? Same is with respect to your marble producers also. Then why don't we impose a ban on the imports? Now your government is looking into all of this, but one thing is it also has to not just look about the import, it also has to look about the exports. Because with respect to exports, India has a trade surplus with Turkey, which means it is benefiting India's current account. So if it tries to do something, it will hamper itself. So the approach India is trying to take is of a mature one. Yeah, I have some issues with Turkey. That is from the policy, political, whatever perspective, that is issue based. I, being a mature country that I am, India, will not mix this and trade. I will separate my economy, I will separate my issues. This is called as being realpolitik. See, we are not just considering based on trade alone. See, your Turkey is a NATO member, also a very key player in your West Asia. So, we are trying to engage in constructive development rather than play any cards like how the other member countries are trying to play with India. Okay, look at this. So, India has a 2.73 billion trade surplus with Turkey. If it puts a ban, then it would be again uh, not a very favorable scenario on the Indian side. It hurts our economy. So, with regard to the Turkey in line, the apple growers, look at this. We have received several representation requesting a ban on imports from Turkey. Apple growers from Himachal Pradesh have specifically sought a ban on Turkish apple imports. A trade ban could send a strong geopolitical message, but it is a question of how far are we willing to take it. Are we the kind of people who will just headbutt and then think of the repercussions, consequences later, or we plan that and act accordingly? Irrespective of how the countries involved are playing, India first plans and then acts. It is very much well known and could be seen in Operation Sindoor itself. So, this is the trade data highlights for your fiscal year 2024, wherein India's exports to Turkey was 7.38 billion. India's imports from Turkey was 4.65 billion, and India has a favorable trade of 2.73 billion trade surplus with regard to your Turkey. What are these products that are getting exported and imported from India? The exports to Turkey are engineering products, electronics, chemicals, etc. Turkey's exports to India are fruits, nuts, gold, marble. Especially after your Ukraine-Russia war, Turkey had ramped up its imports of petroleum products to India, but this has been on a decline since the beginning of your fiscal year 2025. Your Pakistan PM Sharif seeks Turkey's help and their relationship have been cemented now. Now, why is Pakistan getting a strong backing from Turkey? Because of simple thing, they have a shared religious identity and historical links, so they are trying to play this over India. Understanding? What is India considering with regard to dealing with Turkey and how it wants to deal with Turkey? Like we discussed, Turkey is a NATO member, it's a key player in West Asia and Europe. So it is trying to deal with Turkey in a constructive manner and in a realpolitik manner where it does not want to take hasty decisions. And also, it is not going to sweep things under the rug, telling that yes, we have a political issue, we have a matter of discussion where you are not on lines with our policy, but that doesn't mean that we will impact the trade for that, we will impact the diplomatic routes for that. Understanding? This approach is called as a country which has truly understood the meaning of real politic, or it is playing the role of a holistic inclusive member of sustainable development. So, what is India's broader approach with respect to trade policy? First thing is issue based diplomacy. I'm going to deal with this specific issue. For this, first, I'm going to separate economic engagement and political disagreements. Yes, you're not agreeing with my policy. I am also not agreeing with your policy. And I'm not going to leave this because of our economic engagement. I am going to pursue this also. I'm going to pursue this also. But I'm going to make sure that this and this doesn't affect each other. Any country that follows this is called as a real politic country. This is what India is trying to do. Understanding? With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.